This is Get to Know Your District here on Morning Kick Around. We're going to take a peek at Dallas, Texas. Amongst the big things happening in Texas soccer is the creation of a brand new club set to play in the famous Cotton Bowl. From Atletico Dallas, co-founder and chief commercial officer Sam Morton, founder and chairman of the club, Matt Valentine. Welcome into the show, gentlemen.
I think real quick, just a little pull back the curtain. I think we're trying to figure out how to get Sam and Matt on the screen at the same time because we've never done two guests. So apologies as we try to work out the technical issue. I think Jenny is on it at the moment, but let's start with Sam. So we definitely
in
have
fairness,
Sam.
It could be Matt. He's not real tech savvy. So.
I can come sit in Sam's office if need be.
Okay. Well, Sam is here. You can see him. Matt is here. You can hear him. And I think that's the most important part, that we can hear both these
You'd
guys.
rather see me and hear Sam, but that's
okay. All right. Here we go. Guys, first of all, thank you very much for coming by. We have kind of made it a theme on this show to get to know new clubs, clubs starting, clubs doing things that are, interesting out there in the world of American soccer. And certainly you guys have something going on in Dallas. I think when Rob and I did, we were sort of learning as we went, but when we did a video a while back about USL expansion, we saw Garland, Texas, and we go, okay, well, there's going to be a team in Garland, Texas. And then we find out there's Atletico Dallas. We see obviously the logo behind Sam there, which is the snake and the wolf. And I'm intrigued. So Sam, kind of outline the story of getting to this point where you've got a club set to play in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, doing professional soccer in the city.
Yeah, I mean, I think our story, starts almost 40 years ago when Matt and I met in an ODP tryout in Arlington, Texas, where Matt and I grew up. So we were 11, 12 years old, and we're from different parts of the city, but certainly met there and have been friends ever since. So throughout high school, we played high school soccer together. We went our separate ways in college, but have always been close. 18 months ago, Matt gives me a call and says, "Hey, I'm gonna buy a USL club in Las Vegas," and I was like, "We don't what?" And at the time, I was at iHeart. I was running the iHeart sales office here in Dallas, and he's, "Yeah, we're gonna put something together and we're gonna do this." And that was about 18 months ago. Fast forward, Matt met everyone in the league. Obviously, Jose Batista bought Las Vegas Lights, but in that conversation, Matt met Papadakis, and here we are, 18 months later. We launched our brand May 2nd. We've made many announcements since then. One of which is a training complex and corporate headquarters in Garland, Texas, that will have eight fields, essentially. Our partnership with the city of Dallas, which includes us playing starting in 27 in the Cotton Bowl. It also gives us operational control of MoneyGram Park, which is a big 19-field complex here in the city. So we're off to the races. We're 19, 20 months away from kickoff, but, trying our best to really be a part of the community and really started at the bottom and work our way up. And that's it. That's our story in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. And it sounds like you guys have given yourself a bit of a runway. Some teams kind of just jump straight in head first and then figure it out on the fly. You guys seem like you're being a bit more methodical. Hello, Matt. You're on screen. Welcome into the show.
Thanks.
So going slow and methodical, one of the questions I had, because this is Get to Know Your District. So what about Dallas? Is there the hunger for more additional teams? I guess just go from there.
Yeah, so you have to understand, Dallas is a gigantic city in terms of population, but also in terms of scope and size. Where downtown is located, use that as the city center. Where FC Dallas plays in Frisco's 36 miles from downtown, 36 miles north. Okay, Fort Worth is about 28 miles west. So candidly, you're closer to Fort Worth from downtown than Frisco. Garland is anywhere from 6 to 12 miles from downtown. It's a little east. So, with the southern edge of Garland or western edge, it's only 6 miles from downtown Dallas. It's in Dallas County. So it's not, by no means is it an outer suburb. I mean, it's literally very close to downtown. And so we believe that there's a huge appetite and market for soccer in the city center and closer to the city center. And that's what we wanted to bring. That's one of our mandates, bring professional soccer back to the city of Dallas, which candidly is 48+% Hispanic and has a huge, passionate, hardcore fan base that we believe we can capture.
Yeah, and to that point, people don't realize how big Dallas is, but it's 2.7 million people in Dallas County alone. There's nearly 8 million people in the metro area, but just in Dallas County, there's nearly 3 million people. So, we see that as a huge opportunity for the club.
In terms of positioning the team, I'm curious about that part of it. I mean, you acknowledge there's an MLS team in the market, as you outlined, Matt, not necessarily close to downtown Dallas, but in the market. We know that USL has been making some moves and some big announcements about a first division league and maybe pro rel. You talk about the Hispanic community. I'm curious about the imaging that you've chosen. So give me a sense of like what you thought of was necessary to position the team to be successful. I mean, do you call yourself, you call yourself Dallas, obviously, but do you call yourself top level soccer? Are you, what's that?
Yeah,
because there are different tracks there, right?
Great questions. I mean, yes, we intend to play at the highest level that we're able to within USL. And so we'll see where that shakes out. So yes, we want to be at the highest level possible. We're definitely trying to lean into it's not a demographic thing. We're trying to lean into a passionate soccer fan thing. And that's what we are. I mean, I'm trying to build this club in what I want. I want an environment. To me, just to back up, if we do the environment right in the stadium, which I get that we're going to have some challenges in the Cotton Bowl, but if we do the environment right in the stadium, everything else will work out. And if we can have a large supporter group that's passionate, that has tifos and flares as much as we're allowed with fire code, and just the kind of Latin American, European feelings in the stadium, which you get in some cities in the US. I mean, I've been to Austin and St. Louis and Seattle and LAFC, and there's some great environments in the US. And that's what we would like to offer. And I think that the hardcore, passionate soccer fan that wants a club that they can feel as part of the community, that's what we're trying to build. Everything else will work itself out. We believe if we are engaging the community, we're committed to the youth programs in the community, we're trying to make soccer accessible, which it's difficult. Soccer is an expensive sport. It used to not be that way, and it's not anywhere else in the world. But for youth here at the highest levels, it is. And there's a lot of kids in Dallas that get passed over. Either it's too far, they can't afford it. And, for us to be able to give that opportunity, we have a really large youth club with over 2,000 players that we've acquired in the last 6 months. So we think we can have a platform to create a club that people want to embrace.
What was that you said about, can you reiterate what you said about the affordability and what you're doing different about the youth soccer?
Yeah, it's a slow process. Sam and I talk about this a lot. We have a 20-year plan. It's not a 2-year plan. and eventually, I think that soccer at the highest level definitely shouldn't be pay for play. And, we want to create that. The intent is to use profits from our professional team to help fund our youth academy. And, you have to start at some age and work your way down. We're not billionaire owners. We don't just have cash to just throw around. So we're going to slowly grow that. I know that's our goal and our dream, to get the youth club. Now, if we have 160 plus teams on our youth club right now, we obviously can't make it free, and it's a business. But at the highest level, the kids that have a chance to make it to the professional team, those kids need to be playing for free. And so, that's really our intention. And then, being able to leverage a professional brand to help offset some costs is important to us.
Yeah, and beyond that, I think just more space for play. I mean, every city across the country has field shortages. And I think we've, as a country just made it so complicated. Like, you've got to play in a league and you've got to play on this beautiful field and all these other things. And like Matt and I used to play at Woodland West Park. We'd set up trash cans, and if you hit the trash can, that was a goal. And if it went in the trash can, the game was over and you flip sides. Like, you just need a ball and some space, whether it's cement, whether it's a futsal court, whether it's a park, but we've made this illusion of I've got to be on a team and I've got to do all this travel and all this other stuff. And let's just get kids playing soccer, and if we've got to make more spaces, and, I think you'll see you'll see some other announcements from us here over the next 30, 60 days that will chart a path for us to bring more playing surface to the county, and just get kids playing. I mean, that's really, that's what I love. I mean, we had 200 and some kids yesterday at the Cotton Bowl during our press conference with the city, and just to watch those kids set up goals and play on the field was awesome. It was great.
And the city of Dallas and Garland as well. Dallas obviously is much bigger and they have much more space. They're incredibly willing partner, and they understand the demographic shift that's happened here, and the ability to create more playing surface and more fields is a huge priority for them. And we're going to, try to take that lead and partner with them to do that.
I'm all for investment in youth soccer, and obviously flipping over the way it works now with pay to play and everything else. But you talked about the connecting to the professional brand, and obviously you've got you want to put a top level team, a professional team on the field. And we do have some people in our chat who are maybe asking questions about that, because you're going to play in the Cotton Bowl. And Matt, you mentioned some of the difficulties, maybe some of the challenges rather, around creating the right kind of environment, the Cotton Bowl. What does the stadium future for Atletico Dallas look like? Because I think a lot of people would say, well, that's probably not your forever home. And if you want to be sort of at the top level of the game in the United States, you're going to have to be Louisville. You're going to have to be, we just talked to Detroit City. They're going to build a stadium. So where is Atletico Dallas in that mindset?
Right now the Comp Bowl is our home. It's an iconic venue. It's obviously giant. It's 90,000 seats. There are some plans in the work and designs we've looked at to shrink the usable space and make it feel more intimate. It's not going to happen immediately, but there's a path where that could be our forever home, is with certain changes to the venue. It's in a really unique setting. It's 1 mile from downtown. I think it's 1.2 miles from downtown, and it's in the middle of a 275-acre park. They just did a $180 million renovation that's done in September, adding luxury suites and clubs. They've got another very large 9-figure development budget over the next 2 or 3 years. So there's a lot that could happen there. So I think people do dismiss it as, oh, it's definitely not your forever home because of the scale and everything around it. But that's not necessarily true. There's a lot of factors that, could surprise some people one day. But we're going to do the best we can to make the environment as good as we can in wherever we're located. So right now, that is our plans. We don't have anything beyond that.
We got a couple of comments in the chat regarding your guys' badge. It is unique. I think we might have even featured it in a badge raider video a month or so ago. Kind of explain the unique look that you guys have created.
Not having the name of the club is a choice, guys.
It is a choice. The league bought us on it. So
yeah, it certainly was a choice. Matt's comment earlier about we're building something for 20, 30, 40 years from now. And to me, I think that when I look at just the landscape of badges or crest, we wanted something that was really unique, from the color to the style. And we also wanted to create a name that wasn't in professional soccer in the U.S. We could have been Union or United or those are all fine names. It's just we wanted to be something a little bit different. The choice of no name, I correlate to people, especially here in town and really throughout the world probably know this, but when you see that blue star, it doesn't always have to say Dallas Cowboys. And while I understand that we're not the Dallas Cowboys, totally get it. it's our goal to grow the brand and associate it with Atletico Dallas through our marketing efforts, through our engagement in the community. So in 5 years, more people identify with it. In 10, more people identify with it. In 20, more people identify with it. And that was really the goal. And, I think that it's certainly a question I get quite often. We hear it's Harry Potter, it's Game of Thrones, and we get all that. But, at the end of the day, whatever we would have put out, there would have been people knocking on it. It wouldn't have mattered.
Well, and I will say, just anecdotally, yesterday, there's a really popular trail that connects from downtown. It goes about 5 miles north. It's a biking trail called Katy Trail. And there's hundreds and thousands of people on it every day. I'm walking on it last night, and I've got a shirt on just with the crest. And there's about 3 mid-20-year-old guys. They all look at me and yell, "Atletico Dallas." And it's unique. And I mean, we don't start playing for 2 years, 18 months really. But, we believe that at least in Dallas, we can make a footprint so people know the crest. It is unique.
And it'll be helpful, in starting in July this year, our youth club will don the brand and the name. So we'll have a long runway. We'll have 160 plus teams this year, hopefully more next year, that will play all across Dallas and the state and country, quite frankly. And, so we'll hopefully start building that steam where people can identify with it. But I totally get the criticism. Again, I go back to whatever we would have put out, there would have been people saying it sucked. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. American soccer fans notorious for not liking anything.
Anything at all.
I've been living that as
Sam and I are both Chelsea and Dutch fans, so there's a little bit of that.
Yeah, growing up, we loved the Dutch, and you guys probably didn't see it. We put out a video in the Cotton Bowl. Matt and I went to a quarterfinal game in the '94 World Cup in the Cotton Bowl. It was the Netherlands versus Brazil, and it was a classic game. 0-0 at half. Brazil ended up clipping them at the end. But there was 5 goals in the second half, and Matt and I took our baby blues to the Cotton Bowl as 19-year-olds and got down to our seats, and we were in the middle of it seemed like 1,000 Brazilian fans
in the Dutch jersey.
But they had a great time, and that was really a special moment for us. So it's kind of full circle too, coming back to the Cotton Bowl for Matt and I, who have shared a number of different games there at the soccer matches.
All right. Well, I'm certainly excited. I'm certainly it's a fascinating. I mean, I feel like we could talk to you guys for another hour. I'd love to pick your brain about the youth soccer element of this, because when you put yourself into an environment like imagine that North Texas area, people get a little prickly. So I'm sure there's stories there, but we won't take up more of your time. Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, Sam, Morton, Matt, Valentine, founders of Atletico Dallas. Thank you so much for joining us here on Morning Kick Around. As you go, where can viewers find updates? Sounds like there's a lot of exciting things to come.
Yeah, you can check us out at atleticodallas.com on the net, or Atletico_Dallas on Instagram, and give us a follow. We put out our launch edition kind of commemorative kit yesterday. We only printed 1,000. We sold, I think, 250, almost 300 just yesterday. So they'll go fast, and give us a follow, and we'll hope to see you around town.
Yeah. When you guys put out the real jerseys, I'm going to be, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be critiquing it. All right.
No doubt. We'll look forward to that, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Getting to know our district of Dallas, Texas. Things hotting up there. Lots of stuff going on in that district here in the United States. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us. If you are watching now, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do so now. Join the American soccer conversation here on Morning Kick Around. You want to step up your support of the show? Become a member. $3.99 a month is all it costs. You get priority commenting. Thank you to everyone for jumping into the comments during that segment. And you get priority access to videos and bonus content. Hey, Chris Sau. Thank you for coming a member.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I saw some other people debating with becoming a new member as well. Ewan, take the plunge, my friend. Take the plunge. It's well worth it. And thank you to everyone who has already taken the plunge and joined our conversation. The morning kick around Discord channel. Lots of great American soccer conversation threads there. So become a member today.